Welcome to SC44 Sports, where we are biased. Yo, man, over the weekend, it was a monumental, classic, biggest thing y'all ever seen in Dekalb County, man. And right next to me, we have the head of that. How you doing, Dr. Montgomery?
Hey, man, doing great, man. Glad to be here because you know I'm biased.
Hey, look, I'm on a mission to make the world turn biased. Hey, you know what I'm saying? So, look, we're not going to delay. I want to get straight into it. Tell me about how it is putting together such a big monumental event in DeKalb County.
I tell you, man, you know, it take a lot of hard work, you know, dedicated team, and you know, it's just not me. You know, man, Coach Johnson, Keith Johnson, man, he did a great job.
Yep.
Our executive director, Miss Jelks, you know, she did a great job in allowing us to be able to get out here, you know, and put everything, you know, in motion. And then we had, you know, some other great, you know, help. Lou from that on LK Sports, he was there every step of the way. Riley Davenport from Perseus Sports, Perseus Sports Group.
Okay.
So you know, it was a you know, it take a team effort. You know what I mean? Even Lemuel Hawkins, man, from out of operations over there in DeKalb County, man, you know, just, you know, and I know he probably felt we were riding about trying to have different stuff, you know, make sure the facility's straight.
Yeah, different things. Everything got kind of bigger, so we need a little bit more.
From Score Vision, making sure we had that Jumbotron, and Alex, man, just making sure we had that Jumbotron, you know, up and going. You know, it's a beautiful thing. And then, you know, once you get there on game day, man, the wonderful staff that we have, led by Sonia Yarbrough over at Hartford Stadium. You know, and then with public safety, man, with Officer Grimes, he on the head over there for Hartford. He the lead officer over there, and Lieutenant Smith. Man, they did a great job, you know, in dealing with that crowd, cause no one knew.
Who would have known?
Well, you know what type numbers it was gonna do, cause it's the first, you know, first time for everything.
First time,
you know? And it was a first time, thing, man.
It was a day of football.
Yeah.
It was a day of great athleticism. It was a day of great things, but we had a couple of little mishaps, and that's something I wanted to address too, man. You know, we had a couple scuffles, not during the Columbia game. You know what I'm saying? I guess they weren't ready to scuffle at 2:00. But later on in the evening, man, those kids came out there and got a little loose, man. Like, could you elaborate on that? Talk to me about that.
Let's talk about that, because you know, a lot of people like to you know, point blame and stuff like that, and it's just amazing, you know, to see how people will take such a positive event and try to turn it into something negative, trying to chase clicks and likes.
Okay.
And if I was a pastor, you know, that would be the title of my sermon, you know, for this day. Clicks
and likes.
You know, let's talk about that. When people are trying to do things with the expectation of them to go viral, they don't understand that they really are becoming a virus. All right?
A virus.
They are a virus when you're doing stuff like that. Such a great event, you know, with, man, all those student athletes that we had out there. We had 5-star, 4-stars, no star, but every last one of those games, it was amazing.
It was a good
The bands, man, you know, they were blowing it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Had a great time. All of the kids who were involved, they enjoyed it. Every now and then when you got masses like that, of course you might have a little knucklehead here and there. We live in an imperfect world, but we looking for perfect darn results.
Right.
And it's never gonna happen because we don't have perfect people.
This is true.
But then, you know, you get the point and blame saying, oh man, security wasn't doing this, or they didn't have this, they didn't have this. But you know, a lot of, man, if a kid go acting out, that's a reflection on parenting. or the lack of.
It is.
You can't put that on nobody else, you know. And then when you got somebody, man, that want to just sit up and film negative stuff and then put it out there so it can pass on, like I say, so to go viral. But that same person, whoever put all that out, it'll be bad if somebody just walked up to them and slapped fire to them.
Yeah.
And that go viral. They wouldn't like that, right?
No.
So what made you think you want to take something, you know, negative out of a positive situation?
Right. And it was
try to make it go like that.
And it was definitely a positive situation, especially for DeKalb County, because we don't get big sport events like that on the regular. This is something new. This is something great we got going. And for you to push that narrative and not push the positive narrative, that's where the issue I feel lies. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. For clicks and likes.
For clicks and likes. And we here to document good, bad, and the ugly. Not just the bad and the ugly.
Come on now.
So if you're gonna do something like that, make sure you say, well, this turnout was the biggest turnout we done had in 30 years. Make sure you know that the 2026-2027 season will be the biggest you ever seen.
Talk about the game.
Talk about the great games.
You know, the
Columbia and Tucker. That was a great game.
Come on,
you know
man.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
MLK.
Great game.
Great game. Southwest versus Stevenson. That was a good game.
And let me highlight one kid, man, that I had to shout out, you know, and blast last night on Instagram, man. That was a class act. After that Southwest and that Stevenson game, you know, NFL, you know, they exchange jerseys. Man, you had KJ Green from Stevenson.
Shout out KJ.
Yep. You had Jordan Christie. You had J2 from Stevenson, and then you had big time. You know, my QB from Southwest DeKalb. Man, they all in a picture together, exchanging jerseys. You know, holding up, taking a picture.
That's classic.
And one thing that Jordan Christie said, you know, hey, we stayed down. We didn't leave. We was here. That says a lot. And man, you know, I appreciate that young man for just showing, you know, that, hey, we got it right here. You don't have to go anywhere. We right here.
You right here. So that brings me to another question, Cole. How did you pick those teams? Because there's a lot of teams in DeKalb County. How did you pick that particular 6 to go in and that be the showdown?
Hey, number one thing, man, you got to win to get in.
Okay.
We took the top 6 from the county. And then we just, you know, looked at the matchups because you want to make sure that you don't want teams that are in the same region.
Okay, gotcha.
You know what I mean? To play that early because it can shake up how the region, you know, sets their region schedule. So, you know, it just so happened because Stevenson did finish as the number 1 team in the county last year.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
And so, you know, we looked at that. You look at also because we had another team that did well last year that wasn't in it. That was Miller Grove, but they had 28 seniors last year. They were senior heavy.
Yeah, man.
So you know you had to make
you
it. You
know,
those are some of the decisions, and they done a great job. You know this year. I'm interested to see, you know, how they do this year because Coach Brown is an excellent coach over there. He doing a super job at Miller Grove. You know what I mean? But it wasn't, you know, to lead him out. But when we first started discussing that, I know, you know, you don't know what you're gonna get when you lose that many.
Right.
So you know
28.
they was right on the cusp, you know, with another team.
Correct.
So we took the top 6 and put it together.
Top 6.
Yes, sir.
So that's how we did it in DeKalb County. I think, me personally, man, of course, you know, I'm biased. Absolutely. So I enjoyed, you know, the Columbia Tucker game. Now, the Tucker came and punched us in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? I want to give a shout out to Tucker, man. Y'all played a great game, man. We got punched in the mouth, but it's all right, bro. We going to get back, bro. We going to get up, go to the gym, and we just going to get better. I want to know how you pick the refs. Like, is that a counter thing?
Nah, that's right, bro. we don't select the refs, man. That's a state appointed deal. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I will say, man, the refs do the best job, that they can.
They do the best they can do.
Once again, let's circle back to what I said earlier. We want perfect results when we're dealing with imperfect people.
I'm biased. I can't help it, so I gotta pick it.
I was at Columbia for a year or two. My bias now is DeKalb County. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm 100% DeKalb. Because we know DeKalb is football country.
For sure.
Let's plug that in, and I will say, let go on and shout out, give a rundown to the coaches now, because Coach Greg, that's my guy. He was on the staff with me when I was over there, and man, he is definitely flourishing, taking Columbia football, to a whole nother level, man, and it's great, watching
Eagles soar
him.
high, man. The Eagles soar
Absolutely.
High, man. Shout out Coach Greg.
Yes, sir. And Coach Lunny Jones, man, did a great job, in preparing, his kids, because now and anybody who's spoken to me about any of these games, I kept telling folks, the closest game is going to be that Columbia-Tucker game.
Yeah, man.
And, whoever wins, it's going to deal with turnover margin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you talking about that game, the difference in that game is the timing of turnovers. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Because they both played, a great game for week one.
Right.
You know what I mean? Man. Even the Lithonia and MLK game, and Coach Barnes has done a great job, and just building that culture over there. He got like 120 kids, in the program, taking over a program that, man, I think won 1 or 2 games in 2-3 years. And he immediately jumped out the gate, 6-4. I think last year they came out, with a 9-2 or something like that. Made it to the second round of the playoffs.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Coach Kite went 9-1 last year, and they went to the playoffs as well. Coach Kite, and you have to look, man, folks who have come from our schools have been deeply invested. Like when I started at DeKalb 365,
okay,
I went out here and looked at who were former players who were at their alma mater. That's why I started with Barnett. Kite was out there that week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Jelks was out there that week.
Yeah.
Because, they coaching at their alma maters, and they doing a great job, with that. Kite doing a super job at MLK.
He is.
Coach Jelks had big shoes to fill, taking over from Coach Gartrell, who was the only one that had been at Stevenson. Coach Jelks is the second head football coach in the history of Stevenson. I really didn't know that. And now, he's consistently building that program, and this with what he has over there this year, I really feel strong. This will be the year that they make it to the Dome.
Okay.
And Coach Bell, man, just being able to come in and, taking over a team that, had a struggle one year. He had to come in and, he fought through those battles of inheriting, that team. Wow. And now look what he's done, those past couple of years, taking his team to the second round of the playoffs last year.
Okay.
I mean, we got some superior coaches.
Okay.
In DeKalb County. You know what I mean? They don't make excuses about what we don't have. No, we don't have indoor facilities. We don't have the beautiful weight rooms and all that type stuff. But what we do have are some superior coaches.
Yep.
And we got some dedicated, hungry, talented kids that they come in and they work with, and they get the best out of them.
I ain't gonna lie. The Columbia-Tucker game, man, that was one of my favorite games, man. You know what I mean? Them guys over there, man, Columbia got some great athletes over there.
Yeah,
they really do.
And I tell you what, man, I know, Sue, the twin, Big Bursch, QB. But man, let me tell you something about this special one, man. They call him the cheat code. DJ Cody.
Yeah.
#1 in the nation.
Okay.
Class 2030. Hands down. I saw it 2 summers ago. When we started the whole ad out, man, we started with middle school first. This past year, we went middle school and high. Next year, it's going to be middle school, high school, and flag.
Okay.
With the ad out. Man, they played in the championship, man, and I saw him, man. The first thing I did when it was over, man, I made a phone call to a coach over at Georgia State. I said, y'all got to offer this kid going into his 8th grade year. offered him on spot because, man, just looking at where he was, his comparing him with Travis Hunter, where Travis Hunter was going into the 8th grade, DJ was way ahead of him.
Really?
That's fact.
Yeah.
And now you see where he's at. I mean, this game won, man, and that boy done went crazy.
Yeah, he did. I ain't gonna lie.
He went crazy. And he got so many offers now.
He the one.
You know, and that ain't despite, you know, we got a lot of great ones now. And that class of 2030 in DeKalb County, man, is going to be unbelievable. We might have 2 or 3 Super 11s in that class just right out of DeKalb County.
Yeah.
But, man, let me tell you, DJ Cody, #1 in the country, 2030.
2030. DJ Cody. Columbia
Hands
High School.
down.
He an Eagle. Fly high.
Best lineman in 2030, gonna be RJ from Stevenson. He going against a 5-star every day in practice right now.
Okay.
He got to block KJ, man. Every day in practice, man.
KJ.
You don't think that boy gonna be around him? And he's starting at left tackle.
You know
as
he
a
getting
freshman.
that work. You know he getting them that
Hey,
work.
man. Yeah. And they say RJ hold his own sometime down there too. You know, to then you know KJ then had to be like, hold up.
Yeah.
Hold up. Nah.
Well, you know
But
I'm biased.
Can't get nothing better.
So my #1, always DeMario Hopkins.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He the one over there at Lithonia.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He played last night for JV. He did. He shouldn't have played. He shouldn't have played.
That little yo, huh?
Lil Yo shouldn't have played.
No.
But ooh, did he done?
Lil Yo a dude,
hey,
man.
Lithonia got him over there, and they don't even know how to use it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Hey,
So
man.
we buy it for the Cal County. And if
Yeah.
I'm speaking over the Cal County, my nephew the one, man. All right.
For sure.
But
Shout out to Lil Yo.
Shout out to Lil Yo, man.
Shout out to
hey,
Achilles.
Man. Hey,
you know
Achilles.
There's some dudes in that class.
Yeah, man, it is, man. But DJ Cody hard. He
DJ
hard.
Cody, man. Hey, you don't get that nickname cheat code.
You don't get the cheat code for no reason.
No
but
reason.
you doing your thing
Come
in
on,
there
man.
somewhere.
Come on, man.
Okay.
Hey, he's special, man.
All right.
It's hard to become 5-star. If you make 5-star, man, you're pretty much knowing that you're going to the NFL.
Okay.
All right. 5-star guys, I mean, they have so much rolling on them unless they just taper off, you know, for some weird reason in college.
Right.
Man, five it's so big of a break, man, and the difference between a 5-star and a 4-star is ridiculous.
Okay.
That 5, man, I mean, you just ain't a dude, you are the dude.
The dude.
You hear me?
Yeah.
And
Okay.
that's plain and simple. You know what I'm saying? Folk come to see about you. That NIL is gonna be something superb, and you're gonna do it. And while we talking about that, man, let's just talk about how we prepare our athletes over here in the DeKalb.
Let's go.
Know, our guys don't leave out this thing to go ride nobody bench, do they?
No.
We talking about Jaden Barr.
No.
We talking about Devontae Wyatt.
Okay.
We can start naming a whole bunch of different people. You know what I'm saying? That going to excel, right?
Hey,
and
man,
exceed all expectations.
Jaden Ball came straight out of this barbershop.
Come on, man.
Cuz Barbershop, 3009 Rainbow Drive, Suite 143. Jaden Ball came out this barbershop. Okay.
#1 running back coming out in the draft this year. #1 running back, you know, in college football. You know what I'm saying? Come on now.
All right.
Is he doing it? Is he doing it?
Straight from the Cavs County Athletics.
Hey, man, our guys going to play.
Yeah.
And I know those guys we put out at Columbia, man. Them boys went to school and they played. The guys I put out when we was over at Tower, they went to school, they went and played.
Hello.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shoot, we can go back to them C.J. Marable days. You know what I'm saying, man? That boy got them three championship rings over there with that Birmingham team. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
just doing his thing. Went up there and cut a fool over there in during Coastal Carolina. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, our guys do their thing, man. There's a bunch of guys right now that's from Southwest DeKalb that's starting where they at. You know what I mean? Stevenson, them kids going to school They are well prepared, man. Shout out to Coach Ball too, man.
Shout out
And
Coach
get
Ball.
yourself together, Coach Ball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shoot, Coach Ball, man. You know it was amazing seeing him, you know, at the game the other night, man. You know, Coach Ball had, you know, a couple little down days, had got under the weather, man. That man came, you know, straight back out there on that field, you know, wasn't gonna miss that. That's my guy, man. And he has touched and reached a lot of people here in DeKalb County, getting them ready.
Cool.
You know what I'm saying? So, cool, man, shout out to Coach Ball, man.
Shout out Coach Ball, man.
For sure.
That's a big part, man. The alumni being the head coaches, man. I'm glad it's those guys that kind of already went through the DeKalb County system that's able to pour back into our guys. Because a lot of times what happened is, you know, it's so much talent here. It's like DeKalb County is really touched, you know what I'm saying, just with a lot of athletes in our area. And those guys get up and they fly off. Some of them don't come back, you know what I mean? So I'm glad that, like you say, Coach Barnett and those guys coming back and giving back to their alma mater, because they know how to connect with those kids in that area and get the best out of those kids in that area.
Absolutely. And while we shouting them out, you know, we looking forward to our flag football this year.
Okay.
You know, we really looking, you know, to grow that. You know, we've been building our softball program. You know, we done had kids to get scholarships, you know, in softball. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We had kids getting scholarships, you know, in volleyball. You know, we building our basketball right now to get it back. Because, you know, once upon a time, that's what DeKalb was known for. Just that
basketball.
Hoop, you know what I'm saying? And we always had track kids. You know, we had several state champions, you know, this past year. We had 3 state champions in wrestling. Man, we even had a young lady that was a 2-time state champion from over at Southwest DeKalb in swimming. You know what I mean? We had two teams to go to the state championship in golf. You know, we had one that just get there, you know, in soccer and in tennis. You know, we doing it out here.
Yeah.
I mean, I can give you some crazy numbers when you look at for even football scholarships. Man, we had 38% of all our seniors from last year. 38% of them got football scholarships, and I want to see what other district in the country can match that, especially of this size. So when you look at on average, you know, so let's just say on average you got about 15 seniors on every team, because we got to look at the number with the highs and some with the lows. Okay. You know, so you take a large number that could have been like that 28 that was
ridiculous.
That was at Miller Grove, but then you got to look at that 1 or 2 that Clarkston or Cross Keys might have had. So that's why I say when you average it out, let's just say 15. We got 19 schools. Let's bump it. Let's just say 15 times 20 to get an even number of 300.
Okay.
All right. We had 104 kids sign football scholarships last year. So if that ain't coaches working.
Yeah, man.
And like I say, we fluffed that number up to 300 for the old mathematician trying to say, well, man, they're about 34.5, 35%. Man, look here. Man. It's 38 and some change percent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I mean, who else can do that, man?
I don't see nobody else doing that.
You know, like I say, with no pretty weight room, no indoor practice facility, no field houses, you know, and all that. Yeah. You know, we just get out here and we grind it out. You talking about a representative of Zone 6? Boy, don't get me started with that.
Go get it to him.
Man, don't get me started.
Go get it to him.
How these guys putting it work in, you know.
They better know about what we at.
We football country. Hell, we athlete centric.
Exactly.
And football country, you hear me?
Yeah.
We got it all. And we don't even want to talk about them academics. Hell, they can't get in school without the grades, so we know. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Come on now.
What y'all looking at right now, 2 representatives of DeKalb County. We are some of DeKalb County's finest. Business owners, you know, the county district, all the greatest in DeKalb County, man. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So before we get out of here, is there any more big events that you want to go ahead and lead into to let DeKalb County know, man? Because that was just the beginning. We still got a season going. And you might have something else you want to give me. Anything you want to leak to them right now?
We got a nice little girls basketball Christmas tournament that's coming. You know, and working on something. You know, with the boys.
Okay.
You know, because you know, of course, you know, yeah, this kickoff classic. We want to have a spinoff and do a tip-off classic to bring that back. And you know, we might be a year out. You know, from that. Man, baseball is always doing a best of the cab. I think this year, you know, we're gonna start it out, you know, with Rita Ann versus Done With It, which that's huge, you know, in that baseball, you know. Hell, I counted track tournament that we have every year that's massive within itself. Because when you look at how many state champions we had last year, and I counted wrestling tournament is massive, you know, within itself. You know, cause we even bring little Dekalb and Maris and what that other little school, St. Pius, you know, so we can slam their backs out, you know, out there, you know, and go on and get that work put on them. You know what I mean? And just to put in a plug for next year, man, you know, for those that was at the game, you know, that scan the QR code, you would have seen that back page. That was a thank you page, you know, for everybody coming to show love. But next year, man, moving forward, this thing gonna be called the William Buck Godfrey Kickoff Classic. You know what I'm saying? Just to show homage, you know, to Coach Godfrey and all the great things, you know, that he's done. Yeah. So that's gonna be huge. You know what I'm saying? The
greatest indicator.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's a good thing, man. We working over here. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay. So look, man, y'all got it here, man. Exit 44, well, we are biased.
Definitely.
Doc, I appreciate you for coming through.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, man.
Hey, look, you just welcome anytime. Anytime, man. Dekalb County, man. Yes, we sir. Out there, man. Catch y'all on the next one.